The city of Jerusalem lies in ruins, its walls broken, its gates burned, its people scattered and shamed. Far away, in the golden halls of Persia, a man named Nehemiah serves wine to a king, yet his heart bleeds for a city he's never stopped loving. When word reaches him of Jerusalem's desolation, sorrow turns into purpose, and a single prayer ignites a divine mission. This is not the tale of a warrior or prophet, but of a cupbearer who became a reformer, a man who rose from tears to triumph. This is the story of Nehemiah, the man who rebuilt what others had forgotten. Jerusalem, once a city of glory, now lies in ruins. Its proud walls stand broken, its gates reduced to ashes, its people scattered and burdened with shame. Far away, in the golden courts of Persia, Nehemiah, a humble cupbearer to a mighty king, serves with steady hands, yet carries a heart that mourns for the city of his fathers. One day, his brother Hanani arrives with news of Jerusalem's desolation, and sorrow pierces Nehemiah's soul. Overcome with grief, he falls to his knees, tears striking the cold floor as he lifts his voice toward heaven, a cry born of anguish, faith, and unbroken love.
O Lord, God of heaven, let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your servant. We have sinned against you, but remember your promise. If we return to you, you will gather us again.
For days, Nehemiah fasts and prays, seeking the favor of the Lord as he intends to approach King Artaxerxes. One day, as Nehemiah served King Artaxerxes, the ruler noticed the sadness in his eyes. "Why does your face look so sad when you are not ill?" Fear grips him. No servant dares appear sad before the king. Yet courage whispers within his spirit.
O king, may you live forever.
How can I not be sad when the city of my ancestors lies in ruins and its gates are burned with fire?
The king leaned forward.
What is it you want?
Before answering, Nehemiah prayed, right there, in the seconds before speaking. Then he said,
If it pleases the king, send me to the city in Judah where my ancestors are buried, so that I can rebuild it.
The audacity was staggering.
How long will your journey take?
The king asked. Nehemiah set a time. The king agreed. But Nehemiah pushed further. He asked for letters of safe passage and timber from the royal forest. Nehemiah wrote,
Because the gracious hand of my God was on me, the king granted my requests.
With royal letters, supplies, and escort of soldiers, Nehemiah sets out to rebuild the wall. And Nehemiah's story is about to change forever. When he reaches Jerusalem, the sight before him steals his breath. Stones lie scattered, charred gates crumble in the wind. The people move like shadows, weary, defeated, without hope. But Nehemiah tells no one of his plan. For 3 days he observed. Then one night he rode along the broken walls, examining every gap, every burned gate. At points, the rubble was so thick he had to climb off his horse and go on foot. By dawn, Nehemiah knew exactly what was needed to rebuild the wall. Nehemiah gathered the leaders.
You see the trouble we are in. Jerusalem lies in ruins, and its gates have been burned with fire.
Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, and we will no longer be in disgrace.
He told them about God's hand upon him and the king's support. Their response was electric. Let us start rebuilding. Within days, work began. Nehemiah organized brilliantly. Each family built the section near their own home. People work hardest to protect what's theirs. But not everyone was happy. Sanballat the Horonite, Tobiah the Ammonite, and Geshem the Arab were furious. They had profited from Jerusalem's weakness. A rebuilt Jerusalem meant losing power. Sanballat mocked.
What are those feeble Jews doing? Can they bring stones back to life from those heaps of rubble? Even a fox climbing on it would break down their wall.
Nehemiah prayed and kept building. So we rebuilt the wall till all of it reached half its height, for the people worked with all their heart. That's when the real attack began. The enemies plotted to attack Jerusalem. Fear gripped the workers. Some nobles complained. Nehemiah refused to quit. He stationed guards at vulnerable points and declared,
"Don't be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight for your families, for your sons and daughters, for your wives and homes."
From that day on, half the workers built, while half stood guard. Those carrying materials worked with one hand and held a weapon in the other. They built with a trowel in one hand and a sword in the other.
If you have made it this far in the video, please like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share.
Jerusalem was rising again. Amid dust and stone, Nehemiah faced more than broken walls. He faced broken hearts. He settled disputes between the poor and the noble, silenced corruption, and endured threats meant to break his resolve. Letters of deceit came from Sanballat, lies crafted to destroy him. Yet Nehemiah stood firm, trusting God alone. A prophet tried to lure him into fear, but Nehemiah answered,
Should a man like me run away? I will not go.
Battle threats, false accusations, spiritual traps, nothing worked. And in 52 days, the wall that had crumbled for 140 years stood whole again. The nations trembled. They knew this was the hand of God. But Nehemiah knew walls meant nothing without hearts restored. He repopulated the city, renewed worship, and brought the people back to God. When Ezra read the law and the people wept, Nehemiah said,
Do not grieve, for the joy of the Lord is your strength.
Joy returned to Jerusalem, but the battle was not over. Years later, Nehemiah returned to find corruption reborn, enemies in the temple, worship abandoned, sin creeping back. Once more, he cleansed the city and restored what was holy. The wall was finished, but the battle for hearts was never done. And Nehemiah's final prayer was not of pride, but of surrender. Remember me with favor, my God. Nehemiah's story isn't just about walls of stone. It's about courage, conviction, and a faith that refuses to quit. When others saw ruins, he saw purpose. When fear whispered, he prayed. And God took the hands of a cupbearer and made him a restorer of nations. You too can rebuild what's been broken. Your obedience may be the spark that awakens a generation. Remember, the same God who strengthened Nehemiah still strengthens you.
Thank you for watching. If this message resonates with you, show your support by tapping the heart, subscribing, and ringing the notification bell for future updates.